OBI Martin. Who is he? What can Manchester United fans expect to come from the Arsenal Academy graduates? What are we in for? Where is he going to fit into Manchester United's next phase of youth players coming through? Is it right in the youth team? Is it going to be featuring in the first team this season? I'm going to tell you everything about him, why this move has happened, who was in charge of this deal, and why Arsenal could not keep hold of OBI Martin, and why he personally chose Manchester United. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Welcome along to the midday live show, everybody. This is more of a YouTube video, a normal one, really, but I like to gauge people's thoughts on this, and I want to get opinions on this as well in terms of what I'm about to tell you. So some people like the live chat, some people like the comments chat later on when the video has finished its live. I just like to give people the best of both and give you all a chance to have your say on Manchester United's what looks like a very, very bright future. Please also give the video a like. Make sure you have subscribed as well and hit that bell notification button. Welcome along all new subscribers who have joined us over the last couple of days. There has been hundreds. Thank you so much. On the road to 60k. Can we get there before this international break is done? That might be a bit of an ask, but hey, you can only try, can't you? Anyway, let's move forward with the video and let's start talking OBI Martin. Well, Premier League ratification is what has held up this deal. It usually takes around about 6 weeks to get a scholarship youth player over the line with the Premier League. It's a bit more complex in terms of the process and them crossing over from one club to another. Obviously, this deal was agreed back in July pretty much. So we're heading to that time now, and all lines look like they're leading to this being ratified and announcement can be made. Therefore, OBI Martin joining in with the first team squad and can start training with the team as well. He is in training at the moment, but training on his own. That's where we're at with everything for him personally. He's posting social media posts of his fitness and certain training drills and everything like that. But he is ready to go. We just need to worry about how we fit him in, where he fits in. I'll not so much worry about it, but talk about how he fits into Manchester United. So why did this deal happen? Why did Manchester United bend over backwards to try and get hold of OBI Martin? Well, it says it's quite clear in terms of goal scoring. Manchester United need goal scorers. We have some bright academy graduates coming through from our own under 21s and under 18s at the moment at Manchester United. As we know, we're on the cusp of a massive influx of quality young players coming through at Manchester United right now, and OBI Martin is seen as better than what Manchester United have got at the moment. That's the level of where he is at. When you score 8 goals in one game against Liverpool and get 32 goals over a whole academy season, you're obviously doing something right. The Danish international coach, the youth coach, has been talking in glowing reference of OBI Martin. Look, Manchester United offered OBI Martin a deal that he could not refuse. Obviously, if there is going to be more money involved regarding his scholarship into professional contract, which is what is being sorted and on the table right now for OBI Martin well, he's going to have signed it. We're waiting for clearance. Everything he's done on that side of it. But there was obviously financial incentives there as well. So we're not going to avoid that. We're not going to say that that wasn't a reason why OBI Martin wasn't coming through to United, where he had other options. He did take a tour around Carrington, like many other training grounds around the country and in Germany as well. He was weighing up all of his options. Why did he not want to stay at Arsenal? Well, it was clear at Arsenal right now, they are on it's not so much a do or die, but it's now or never sort of scenario. So Arsenal's first team, as you know, are pretty much level with Manchester City. 2 points worse off last season. They're challenging for the title. So when you look at Arsenal's first team squad and Arsenal's first team, as in the first 11 that plays week in, week out in the Prem, really hasn't got room to bed in youth players right now. And unfortunately for them, their offer was substantial. Arteta did actually make OBI Martin a real serious offer, but it wasn't the money that was swaying OBI Martin. It was the game time. Everybody sees OBI Martin as fast track. We talked about Kuna yesterday and his fast track, and OBI Martin is 2 years younger and expected in his amongst his people and everybody talking about OBI Martin. They're expecting his trajectory to be very similar. And there were even some rumours going around that he may even be thought of for cover after Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee into the season. Now, I think that might be a bit too much, but never say never. But OBI Martin was looking at the Arsenal setup, and you have not got time to bed a player in. When you're fighting for the title, you need players that are ready to go. We know that Arsenal's first team are competing and more than competing with Man City, and this is their time. It is. They need to have players that are ready to go now. You can't even give a player 2 or 3 games at Arsenal at the moment. You're looking at Manchester United. We're scared about putting a player in because he might take 5 or 6 games to get get us to the top 4. So you can compare that and the level that Arsenal are at right now in matching up with Manchester City. There's no room for anybody falling off a little bit. Every single one of them players, and they are, and they're very much up there competing with City, but you cannot afford any sort of I'm not saying lackluster or anyone who's just a standard below. Like, Martin can be there, but he's not there yet. And he wanted promises of a certain amount of game time, a certain opportunity to be with the first team and play, and Arteta could not give him that for obvious reasons, like I've just explained. Manchester United, on the other hand, well, is a completely different story altogether. And this is where a lot of people don't understand, like looking into the development side of things with young players coming through. Manchester United right now is not a bad place to be. Yes, the first team is a bit of a mess, and everything going on that we already know about and talk about every single day is there to look at and be concerned about. But at academy level, if you're a youth team player right now, you're thinking, this actually may be the best time to be part of one of the biggest clubs and one of the most successful youth team clubs in football history in England. And if Manchester United are not doing well on the pitch, then obviously there is room for players coming through. And you only have to look at 18-year-old Garnacho in his first season, 18-year-old Mainu in his first season last season, Garnacho the one before, obviously because he's a year older. But we were talking yesterday about Koune coming through. You look at the positions. OBI Martin was probably convinced, and by the way, yes, Wilcox, Vivell, massively involved in getting this deal over the line, and that's important also to remember. Again, like we've talked about plenty, the structure that United have got and the pathway is made very, very clear right now, and it can be. I'm not saying this pathway for youth players from Manchester United's academy is going to be this easy for years to come. It's not, because the first team will eventually sort itself out, God we hope, and there'll be less room. But right now, it's open season. There are many positions that are being scrutinised. There are many players that are going to be moved on by Ineos, and this is part of the plan. And I keep going on about it and how much work is being done by the new structure at United, but this is it. It's like, yeah, if you're not performing, we're happy to move you on. We're happy to balance our books, because why? We have other players coming through the academy that might take that chance. We're only going to buy players of a certain age that have got years to come as well, so they can all develop together. There's no one going to be coming in to Manchester United right now of a certain age or an old player. So you're looking at really Manchester United right now. We've got the first team that's in, the older players there. There's going to be no one. There's going to be nothing like Rabiot coming through. No players like we used to do with like the likes of Falcao, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Cavani. None of that is going to happen now. The pathway is clear. Everything is being made clear and obvious for Manchester United. And that is that you will get your chance. If you don't hit a certain mark by a certain amount of time, you will probably be sold on. That's the model. Manchester United are not looking to just use players and bring them through into the first team. There is a pathway that you hit a certain standard, and this development plan that Vivell has put in place for all of these young academy lads now will be to a point where you actually are in the first team, Garnacho, Mainu, or you are just on the cusp and sold out, and United will get better. In comes the next line. There's a conveyor belt that keeps on going round and round and round, which United have got working for them at the moment, but the opportunities are going to become more frequent in that first team, if that makes sense. It's going to be a case of, like, Bruno Fernandes in a couple of years starts to be weaned out. Who comes through next? Does Mainu get pushed into number 10? Does another 10 come through the ranks? Does another number 8 come through the ranks because Mainu's been pushed up? All of this starts to take shape all over, and United will handpick talent and spend money on players that fit this system going through. You only have to look at, like what you got Ross says there, I just seen that chat come up there live now. Like, the Arsenal fans are not happy that Arsenal didn't manage to keep hold of OBI Martin. They know what they have lost. This kid is bringing dynamism beyond. You only have to listen to what the coach says, the under-21 coach, under-18s coach, for Denmark, in how his finishing qualities and his finishing ability is beyond anybody else's at his level and at his age group. It is ridiculous right now how good he actually is, and he's only going to get better and better, and he will get more opportunities at Manchester United than anybody else than anywhere else. Sorry, like Arsenal, you're not going to get it. City, you're not going to get it. Any of the top clubs, there is no room there right now. Whereas at Manchester United, oh, we've got plenty of room. We've got loads of room, and that is the pull and that is the lure for a lot of academy players. That's why you're getting Lascelles coming through as well, the young winger that's going to be hitting Manchester United's academy as well at the same time. I think it's Overy, Lascelles and OBI Martin are all going to be ratified at exactly the same time. So yes, I'm just checking up on some other news as it comes into me as well. Let's just see right now. Yeah, it was just some news regarding Thomas Tuchel coming through from Build and what they're saying. I may touch on that a bit later on this evening on that one and everything like that. So as we are live, I want to just double check on everything that's going on, but I do want to keep it to a sort of shorter form video for this one as well. We'll have the evening show with your fully interactive side and everything like that. But quickly, guys, get into the chat and let me know. Obviously, please give the like. Make sure you have subscribed as well. So let's just get into everything that's happening right now with the younger players. We're looking at Ahmad's numbers coming up. Everyone's talking about him. Obviously, Garnacho, Mainu. It is the way that Manchester United are working right now. I think this is the angle that everyone's going for. And I feel like United are in a position now where we have to hit things right with the first team. Obviously, that's priority, and we can't wait around forever. It's a case of make sure that we buy the right players, young players, like I just said, in terms of getting them in the team right now, and then make sure that the development pathway for the other younger players coming through is there for them to prosper. And OBI Martin is part of that. OBI Martin and Kune are seen as first-team regulars over the... Not regulars, but definitely threatening the first team over the next couple of seasons anyway. That's what is seen, and that's where everything is going to be sort of geared towards in terms of their development. And obviously, like we said, the other plan and plan B would always be to sell these players on at a profit if they didn't make it. That's the pathway, that's the development plan for all of these young players. But OBI Martin is supposedly, and you can imagine right now with Manchester United's actual level of players right now in the under-18s who are obviously unbeaten last season and started this season massively, obviously winning every game so far again. The under-21s, great win this week against Blackburn, and some of the 18 lads actually maturing into that team as well. There is lots going on that's positive right now, and for Kune and OBI Martin to come in and seen to be at a level above, which is what is being reported, that's Manchester United have already got, then you can only look at everything as a positive. Everything looks really bright. Everything looks, I say, rosy for the future. Yeah, it's a bit corny, I know, but look, it's hard to see the positives because of the first team. So I'll keep driving the positives within what's to come, and there are plenty of positives coming through this youth academy right now. Watch out for both OBI Martin and Kune. They are definitely players that are going to be prospering at Manchester United in the next couple of years. Maybe we may see signs of them training with the first team and then maybe the odd game here and there. I don't know. I wouldn't even commit to that right now with everything that's going on. But you know United need goals. We've got OBI Martin, 16-year-old wonder kid. You know United need more cover at holding midfield. Maybe Kune means that United don't have to go out in the market next summer and buy one. Maybe we could afford to let Casemiro go because we've already got a replacement in. Sensible, smart thinking. I know it's crazy to think with Manchester United after the last few years and how we've actually operated, but this is actually how we are moving forward now. This is the reality of what Manchester United's new structure is. And again, like the first team is always going to deflect away from the positives, what's going on. But the long-term work behind the scenes is very, very good at United. And I'm confident that we will see these players prosper coming through the academy as and when needed going into the future. Quickly, let's just read up on what is actually going on elsewhere. We are live, so we might as well cover everything else. Let's Yeah, in terms of actually, yeah, no, I'm just looking at that German side of things. A few people actually asking if he's actually signed it. Yeah, look, the contract is signed. Like, OBI Martin is done. It is a done deal. He cannot train yet because ratification factors. Just to put it into example of where OBI Martin is, LaSalle is, over he is. The contracts are signed. They just cannot be announced yet because of ratification. So we know and we knew, like the best example you could use is Sir Jim Radcliffe taking over at Manchester United. Like the club announced it, but then it needed to be ratified so they could start working. So Manchester United have signed OBI Martin, but he cannot start training, i.e. working, with the club until Premier League's ratification is cleared and everything is out of the way for it. So that's where we're at with OBI Martin. He is a United player. It just cannot be official and he cannot train with the club yet because Premier League need to ratify it. It's a very similar situation to what... I know it's at total different ends of the club spectrum in terms of like an ownership model taking over and just a youth academy player coming through. But it is always more delicate matters when it comes to actually getting youth academy players through. So yeah, he officially was a free agent because he didn't accept the extension at Arsenal and their scholarship offer. So that left him open and able to go around touring around the country and Europe for other academies to go and join. United offered him a scholarship with promotion to first team contract, professional contract, I should say. So that's why he went to United. But the financial plan was better and the pathway and development plan was better at Manchester United. He actually sees himself at 16 maturing in time to be the next best striker at Manchester United. That's what we're talking about. That's how he sees it. By the time he's 18, we could be seeing OBI Martin lining up on the opening day of the Premier League season as United's main striker. That's how he sees himself. That's the confidence within the player. And the people around him, that's how they're talking. We're talking Mason Greenwood numbers in terms of academy level right now for OBI Martin. It's a very similar trajectory and very similar sort of output in terms of goals, performance level right now. And we all know what Greenwood could have been, or what he's showing right now in Marseille, and how he's absolutely smashing it over there. Manchester United really... Like I've just said then, the two key problem areas for United right now, holding midfield and centre forward, number 9. We have 2 young lads at the club right now that could be filling them roles without spending a single penny more from this point forward. Obviously, we spent $1 million on Kune. We've obviously got OBI Martin on a free, on the scholarship, professional contract. And you just compare that, say, for instance, to what we've already got. And what could come through and how Manchester United's business plan has worked for years. Like, look, for Anthony, for instance, Anthony is, 85 million United spent on him. And he's going to give us nothing going forward. He's not going to get the game time. Look at Jadon Sancho. Nothing. Offered us absolutely nothing. Like, the amount of money that United have wasted. And you could have 2 players coming through who are just going to fill roles. Like, look, right now, like, the proof is there in Garnacho and Mainu. Like 2 players there that are now first team regulars. You cannot live without them, basically, this Manchester United side. Both still teenagers. So when you look at it and you go, these are still young, they need time to develop. No, it's changed. Development has changed. Younger players now are coming through at the age of 17 and 18. 18 is the mark. We either know or we don't by the time they're 18. It's as simple as that. Like Willy Cambuala came through a bit older than that. You're looking at Medved, just too old, never had that opportunity. The pathway wasn't there. It was always blocked. Now Manchester United are going to have a pathway there where there's not many people in front. Let's not forget we're getting rid of 3 centre-backs next summer. Is there anyone else coming through? That's what you've got to ask right now. Willy Cambuala coming through when he was 18 and going into this summer, it might have worked out for him. Look, some players are unlucky. They come through at the wrong time at a football club. Scott McTominay, Marcus Rashford. Well, Rashford is a stonewall, and you could argue against both of them and say, look, they made it into the first team and they got a great career at Manchester United. They did. Unfortunately for them, they came through at a bad time for the first team. What these youngsters are looking at possibly is, right, it can't get any worse, and when I come through, I will probably be a lot better off than what they are. For instance, you've got, Kaz just sent me a tweet there. Anthony's just 857 goals away from equaling Cristiano Ronaldo's 900 career goals record. That's come from Troll Football. It's an extreme example, but what I'm trying to say is, and the point that we're trying to make is here, United are putting something in place that is going to stop all of the stupid spending in the future. We are going to be creating the superstars again at Old Trafford, and they're getting people in to find this talent. Vival is key. Wilcox is key to all of this, and he will save them two alone will save Manchester United absolute fortunes. You look at the nous and experience of Ashworth and Berardi on top of them two. Wow. It is all really, really positive. And the thing that you take away from it is, look at what Barcelona produced through their academy. Someone's got to do it. And you will find one or two gems out of a pot of about 20, won't you? Not all of them make it. But the good thing that you've got is, you've got the development and pathway of Vival and the technical director and everything like that. Now we're bringing in more directors to help improve all of the players and everything going on at the football club. So you've got technical directors, you've got all of the youth team directors and things like that coming through. So they're the ones that find the players, like Vival, recruitment side, technical directors. They are the ones that get the players in, build the pathways, development plans, get them to a certain point. If they've not made it to the first team, then you've got your Ashworths, the Wilcox on top of that as well, Berardi's, who moved them players on at a profit. Therefore, turning over money from within, 100% PSR. Again, I go back to what Ashworth was saying in that interview before the Liverpool game. If the deal is right, United will sell academy players because you need to, because of PSR and FFP. Homegrown players are massive. You need to tap into that market. Look, City and Chelsea have both done this to the extreme with academy players, and that's how you balance books. That's how you actually manage to get away with things. Obviously, what happened before is not so much getting away. Well, they did get away with it. Well, we'll see, won't we, in a few weeks' time? But still, you know where I'm going with it. When you get to that point and you're actually selling on academy players, then that's how you balance it. That's how you argue the point. Like, this is how we were able to spend so much money. But they have. You look at both Chelsea and Manchester City and look at how much money they have sold academy-grown players for. It is, honestly, it is off the scale. It puts it all in perspective of how they get away with what they do, especially Chelsea. They have sold hundreds of millions of pounds worth of academy players out everywhere across Europe, and that's how they do it. That's their model, and that's how they finance a lot of things. So really, when you look at it, Manchester United, not so much going down that road. They want to create the next best player, and if that player comes through, that's great. But you've got the people to create them, and you've got the people to move them on. Whereas before, we had the people to find these players, not develop them properly, and give them the right pathway and guidance. And you had absolute numpties in trying to sell them on, i.e., £1 million for Buddy, Savage and Iqbal. Like, one summer, we were actually looking at them two as like possible first-team players at one point. I know we sold him for $1 million, whereas City are selling an academy goalkeeper who's never played one Premier League game in his life for $25 million. This is the difference. This is what Omar Berardi and Ashworth do, and this is what Wilcox and Vival do. And combine the team and the structure and the levels going up all the way to the top are where Manchester United are looking and what they're trying to do. And that's what they're trying to create. That is what you call a culture. You will get given your chances. If you are willing to put in the yards and effort and the guidance that's there on tap at Manchester United right now, then you've got a chance. Or you could be the next player that's sold by Manchester United for loads of money. Like, it's up to the player, basically. And what Jim Ratcliffe says it, like, he wants to make it the perfect place to develop talent. He wants to inspire performance. Every little minor gain and minor win. This is what he's talking about all the way through. So it may not be that the player comes through and makes it into the first team, but you may get a little bit of a gain financially and moving that player on. But everyone gets a chance. And that's what's appealing. That's what OBI Martin has brought through, come through to Manchester United for. And that's why he chose United, because he had a better development plan and pathway into first team football where he needed to be. I'm going to get some comments quickly before we finish up. Please give the video a like, guys. Let's get over 200, over 700 watching for this player profile video. Absolutely brilliant. Love that. Cheers, everybody. Please do keep your comments and likes flying, and make sure you have subscribed as well if you are new. We are heading up to 60k. Keep it coming, everybody. Let's just see what we've got chat-wise. Gehern has been talking a lot in the chat. We spent a fortune in the past. Now we are saving millions and using our own new structure to go back where we rightly belong. We need another mass clear-out next summer and a new manager. A mass clear-out next summer like this one, that's what I'm talking about. That clears the path. Pardon the pun, like it's cleared, isn't it? Like, talking about the pathway for these players, they're obviously blockers, and I called them blockers. Like, going back years, you had the Phil Joneses of the world. You had the Donny van der Beeks of the world. You had other players like, I can't even think now. Like, gee, there's loads, isn't there? And when you're trying to think of them all, there's that many, you end up forgetting who they've actually been at Manchester United. But, do you know what I mean? You've got players there that don't belong. Victor Lindelofs of this world. Jadon Sancho's, Anthony's, all of these types of players that are in the way of the academy players even getting a sniff of a chance at Manchester United. That's what you need to remember. And that, if United can clear it next summer, is going to help these go even further. And I think Ineos will. Let's just see. Martin, Anthony says, hope they don't come through until Erik ten Hag has gone. Don't want him destroying them. Anana must not start for Manchester United. Completely off subject, says Mr. Rick there, but still. I would definitely try the youngsters against Barnsley, risking going out of a competition. I don't think Ten Hag is going to do it because he's that desperate to hold on to his trophies. And that's what it's all about with Eric, isn't it, at the moment? Or it would seem anyway. Anana only gets benched when Erik ten Hag leaves, and that will be Christmas. Neither are good at what they do. The sooner we get the left-footed left-back, the better for the team shape and balance, says Stephanie. Busby Babes, Fergie Fledglings, Ten Hag's tots, says Steve S. I wouldn't go that far. Again, like the other comments said, it's like, yes, maybe. That's all speculation, Adam. You cannot say that because anything can happen to them. I don't know what you mean, mate. Speculation, no. It's facts, mate. There's no speculation about it. The pathway and the development plans are better at Manchester United than they are at Arsenal. There's not much more you can argue with that, Christopher, I'm afraid. But it's up to them whether they take it or not. And like the noises that are coming out, they can make the most of the opportunities that they're going to get, or they can't. But United have got a plan in place where they don't, they get sold. If they do, they've got a chance of being a Manchester United regular. That's what United are trying to build. Don't expect United to be spending millions and millions and millions every single summer because Ineos are in. It's not the way they're going about it. Manchester United will be looking to turn profits eventually in summer transfer windows. I can guarantee it. Ever since Anana lambasted Maguire for his hospital back pass during the pre-season tour in 2022, he has been muted. We need character like Schmeichel and Van der Sar. He doesn't seem to be very vocal, does he? Whenever this kid does come up, if he scores, he will play. We need regular goal contributors pretty badly, says You Got Roz. We do. We definitely do. And hopefully these players can come from our academy. It would be great to see Manchester United being filled with academy players in the first team in the future. It is what every single United fan wants to see. And do you know what? OBI Martin could be one of them players. Let's get them likes up to 200. We only need 90 more to hit that 200 mark. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you do also subscribe as well. Get your comments in the comment section below on OBI Martin and the future of this academy when the video finishes as well, guys. That would be fantastic. I want to know what you guys think. Erik ten Hag will play the strongest side against Barnsley. Yes, he will. He will. 100%. That's a good point. Our players don't seem to have a go at each other anymore. No one talks. It's scary. Nobody talks. Like we should be berating. Bian Sherry is shining as a striker in the reserves, so thinking future looks good. Yep, you've got Wheatley as well, Tony, scoring for the under-19s this week. And OBI Martin is supposedly better than both. Well, that's what's being said anyway, and that's why Arsenal fans are kicking off about OBI Martin leaving Arsenal and going to Manchester United. Mr. Dacia Sandero, hi Adam. As I mentioned yesterday, we need to trust the process. We have made a brilliant start to ship players out. The next big wave is next Jan/summer. We will look so different next season. Yes, we will. Will that be with the same manager? Again, questions are going to be asked, and I get performances need to come back. We said we'll be touching on more of that later on in the evening show. I wanted to do something different in the middle of the day just to break it up. Well, it's international break, mix up the content a little bit. I really appreciate you guys all joining us on the live. Please do get your comments in, everyone, when the video is finished as well. I want to see what you've got to say in detail when we've got a bit of time and the live chat isn't flying through. But like I said at the top of the show, I like to give everybody a chance in the live chat and in the comments afterwards. Some people prefer either. Some people only prefer one type, but on For Every Night TV, I like to get everything in to give everyone a go. But that is it. That is the end of the show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be open to the comments, like I said, later on. Give the video a like on the way out. That will take us over 200. And make sure you have hit that subscribe button as well. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday afternoon. The weekend is here, everyone. I'll see you all at 6:30 later on.